Hello everyone, welcome back to Hills and Hollers Homestead. The pigs are doing what the pigs are supposed to do. I'm going to feed them, so are you in there? You guys hungry? Let's go eat. All right, so the last few days I've been slightly busy, actually last week, trying to get as much work done as I can here, mainly in the firewood area. They've got this really cleared out here good. So I got all this mess here cleaned up finally. I know it looks like a mess still, but that's the end result. So I've been a little busy getting that done. That's a pine log, so that's why that's not going in my firewood pile. So I got that much done, and I actually got a whole 14-foot dump trailer full of firewood that I just finished today. It's out in the second field here. So I'll head out that way here after I get the pigs fed. That's what I've been doing. I just, you know, it's hard to come up with content for these videos, something to keep people interested. I mean, I like to share the information and stuff with folks as I go along, and just kind of encourage folks, let them know, hey, you can do this too. It's, you know, it's not impossible with a full-time job, you know, 40 hours a week. And yes, I know people work longer hours. I used to be one of those people, but I've got a job now that's 40 hours a week, and yeah, we do what we can. So as soon as I'm done, of course, this time of year now, you're looking at, it's dark by 7:30 type of thing. So when I'm done with work at 4, I've got about 3.5 hours to get outside, get things done, and try to get ahead of stuff as fast as I can. But unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. So, all right, so a couple things that we are doing, and this is, forgive me, it's that homestead multitask thing again. Several things that we're into right now is the firewood's finally done, like I said. Should hopefully be able to get the lumber for the firewood shed sometime this week or coming next week. Yeah. Today was a holiday, so we didn't have to work today, so that made a big difference in getting some of the stuff done and getting caught up. But of course, there was other errands and stuff that we had to take care of as well. So it is life, you know. But a couple of things that we're doing now is, one of the things we're focusing on is trying to deplasticize our house. And that is getting rid of as much of the plastic bowls and plates and cups and stuff as we can, because, you know, try to reheat food. I try to reheat it in the oven now or the air fryer versus putting it in a plastic container and doing it in a microwave, just to be quick and convenient. So I'm trying to get away from that. We have a bunch of cast iron and high carbon steel skillets and stuff, and I like cooking on them. It's not a big deal to me. My mom grew up, actually, that's all my mom would ever cook on, and still does to this day. But I'm not the best cook when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's kind of hard for me to regulate with gas, natural gas. I don't know why, but it just seems like it doesn't heat evenly across. So what I've been doing is, we have stainless steel skillets and stuff, and we just bought a few more stainless steel skillets and stuff, and I like to cook on it a little better. Easier to clean up, a lot less maintenance and stuff, and that's pretty much taken care of at that point. So what I'm looking to do also is, we do have some of the non-stick skillets. Now those things, of course, as soon as they get a little scratch in them, those forever chemicals that's in that stuff, like PFAS, PFAS, that's when it supposedly kind of gets into your food and stuff, when they start breaking down that barrier or that coating. So we've pretty much eliminated all that, getting away from that. Plastic plates and stuff, try to find some good stainless steel, good quality stainless steel plates and bowls and stuff like that. Just kind of, like I said, get away from that whole plastic forever chemical thing. And that's with the Alexa Pure water filter that we bought. By the way, still on sale for $179 on campingsurvival.com. So if you're interested in them things, they are comparable, pretty much side by side, to a Berkey. Heck of a lot less money. And I can tell you, what an amazing difference in the taste of my water. What an amazing difference in the taste of my coffee. So wife was kind of mad at me at first when I first bought it, but after we got it, she's like, hey, that was a good purchase. So those are just some things that we're trying to work towards and move along with, amongst everything else, just to try to be a little healthier, try to raise our kids in a little healthier environment, and outside of that norm of just the craziness and stuff that we've gotten used to over the years as being professional consumers and just kind of following the crowd, I guess. But all right, I got the truck parked out here with the trailer hooked up to it. There you go. 14-foot dump trailer full. There are still some big logs back here. I found out several of those are pine, and this was a lot of the ends and pieces that I got from the sawmill, and several of those are pine, and I'm not going to split them up. That one in particular is just way too daggone big. That thing's 3.5 foot in diameter, and I wasn't even going to try to fight with it. So I moved it. I actually got it moved over close to it, and I stood it up, but no. Not that important to me. But leaves are changing here. Frost the last 2 mornings. Probably going to end up with frost almost every morning now. 60s, 70s temperatures during the day. Perfect, beautiful weather. This is my time of year. This is the time of year that I can really get to moving and get things done. And that's why I look forward to this time of year. So we're just kind of slowly plugging along at things. Hopefully I can get the order from the sawmill this week. Hopefully. The bad thing is I got to dump this whole daggone trailer somewhere, and of all this firewood, and then I'm going to have to probably load it back up and take it over once we get the firewood shed built and get it all stacked in there. The 4 rabbits, I've got 1 doe bred. I'm having trouble getting the other one bred. She's just not wanting to do it. The 1 doe that I do have bred, she should be kindling this coming weekend. So hopefully we have that, and how successful that is. I've got to get tarps up around what I refer to the rabbit house is the Wabbitat. That's what I've named it. My wife thought it was pretty funny. So the rabbit house is called the Wabbitat, and get the tarps up on 3 sides. That way they're not getting the colder breezes and stuff. And they're good to like 5 or 15 below, but I'm not going to do that, especially with you know, bunnies coming. Still going to work on trying to get the other female bred. She's fighting. I'm telling you, she's giving me a heck of a hard time doing it. And I've followed a bunch of different you know, techniques and stuff like that I've seen on Facebook, or that I've seen on YouTube, and that the breeders actually told me to try. Of course, I've not been consistent doing it every day either. I mean, I haven't tried getting her bred in about a week now, so I'm kind of falling behind on that. But that's because I've been trying to catch up with the firewood and everything, get that done. But now that this is done, I can try to get that done while I can get her bred, hopefully. And if I do hopefully get her bred, I'll not breed anymore the rest of the winter. I don't want to take a risk on trying to raise, you know, bunnies and have them kindling in the middle of the cold weather and everything. But we'll try her again here soon. I mean, from the time we breed her to, what, 27, 28, 29 days, she's going to have the babies and stuff. And they should be fine enough to last through, you know, get through the winter and stuff like that, or old enough till we process them. But, you know, 2 rabbits, 2 does can produce 600 pounds of meat in a year, and I had no idea that. I really didn't think of that, and I think I said that in that last video that I put out, and that's amazing to me. That's just phenomenal. And I really can't. I just fired the smoker back up. I don't use the smoker a lot in the summer, as much as people would think you do. We haven't grilled out a whole bunch this summer just because we've been so busy. It's been quick, convenient meals that we make at home. We make from scratch. I mean, there's barely ever a time that we eat out. We prefer all of our meals from home and home cooked. And that's another thing too, is we're really focusing on now and cutting back on a lot of the crap. I kind of fell off the wagon with my way of eating before we went to the beach, and while we were at the beach, and when I come home, I did a 24-hour fast, and I was miserable. I told my wife, I said, I got to give my body a break. So 24 hours, I ate nothing. I drank just straight water, and then I started back onto my high protein, basically a carnivore type diet. And right now I'm getting ready to start tomorrow. I'm going to start I'll eat a little bit of breakfast, and that'll typically be like an egg, a couple eggs, a little sausage, maybe a little bacon here and there. But then my only other meal of the day is going to be ground beef. And I'll do that in like a ground beef bowl. I'll season up, cook some ground beef, and I'll add a little sour cream and a little bit of shredded lettuce to it, just to kind of enhance that little, you know, moisture to it. And that'll be it. That's going to be my meals for the next couple weeks, because the wife's going to be busy. We got a family member with some health problems and stuff like that, so while they're undergoing treatment, my wife will be with them at the hospital and stuff, and down where they're going to be staying for that treatment. And that's going to make it easier. Just I'm not trying to make a big meal for one person. That's just an easy, quick meal for me, and I can cook ground beef up on tomorrow, and you know, it'll last me the rest of the weekend. So it's real easy to make, and I never get tired of it because it's satiating. It's a very satisfying meal. You get something like that in you, you don't get hungry, you know. So, and I don't usually eat till 11:30 anyways. 11:30, 12 o'clock I don't usually eat, and then I try not to eat, you know, late into the evenings. But you know, I'm going to be stuck with the kids. Well, not stuck with the kids, but yeah, I'm going to be stuck with the kids for the next probably 2 weeks. And so I'll be, pardon the expression, balls to the wall through this whole mess. But it is what it is. We'll take care of it. So, you know, probably not going to be a whole lot of updates in the next couple of weeks. If anybody does care or not, I don't care at this point. I mean, I'm just doing this to help share with friends and trying to encourage people and let people know that, you know, you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be a super stud. You don't have to be a superstar. You don't have to have, you know, a very successful YouTube channel and a bunch of sponsors, just to share the message of the homestead lifestyle and encourage other people to get to doing it, because it is healthier. It's a better way of doing it. And you can start right where you're at right now. You don't have to have a bunch of land. You don't have to have acres upon acres. You can start that lifestyle right now. You can grow indoors through the winter. You can grow on your porches in the summer, spring and summer. You can do all of that. And somebody made a smart ass comment to me on one of the pages, Facebook pages, about, you know, growing a couple buckets full of tomatoes and lettuce isn't going to keep someone alive. And you're right, it's not going to keep someone alive, but it's going to help sustain them. That's going to be added to whatever else they may have. So that is another source. And usually when you start doing that and you taste that first bite of what it is that you planted and you grew, you tend to get hooked on it. So, you know, renting, I rented for years, and I wish to God I had the money back that I spent in rent. And glad that I bought what I did when I bought it. I just wish I would have gotten more into and discovered this lifestyle a long time ago, because it's enjoyable to me. I don't have any vices, unfortunately, anymore. My wife will tell you that I like to buy equipment. I like to buy guns and stuff like that every once in a while, and I haven't bought a gun in a long time. But as far as like farm equipment and stuff like that, tractor, you know, brush hog, log splitter type of thing, and we were going to make a big purchase on a big log splitter. We weren't going to do it this year. We're going to plan on doing it next year. Right now, the one I'm using is a family member's. It's a 22 ton, and it's worked fine for what we've got. And a friend of mine said, hey, I know somebody that's got a 20-ton log splitter. It's been sitting in a shed for the last few years. It's not been used, and it was used very little when they had it. Or you're interested in it. I said, well, let's go look at it, see if it'll run. So we got there, fired it up, pumped the tires up. It ran, operated fine. I bought it for $400. It's a 20-ton. It should do everything that I need it to do. I'm not up here splitting 3-foot diameter oak trees, so I'm not worried about it. It should work fine. And unless it just completely falls apart and doesn't function, it'll be what I use from now on. And and that was a blessing, because I saved myself $2,600. I was going to go and just go full bore and get a big 20 or a big 40-ton log splitter at Tractor Supply, or they had 37 tons at Rural King, but they were comparable in price. And I thought, man, that's going to be a big purchase, but you know, we'll use it for the firewood. No, $400 one will do me fine, and just a little bit of maintenance on it. We had to clean the carburetor out. Jet was one of the jets was kind of clogged up, and had some rust and stuff on it. So I hosed it down real good with PB Blast. I let it set, and I'll just clean it up, and that'll be it. It'll run. It'll work. So, and it runs fine. It cycles fine. I'm going to replace the hydraulic fluid and the hydraulic filter in it, just for, you know, because it's been setting for so long. But again, a great purchase. It's going to save me a lot of money in the long run. And then, you know, focusing more on our health, especially through the winter months and stuff like that, because we're going to be indoors more. I'm going to try to get the kids going a little bit more into, and I'm trying to push them more into some more healthier habits and everything. Because let's face it, I mean, kids are kids. You got to kind of let them enjoy a few things here and there, but you can't let them get too far. But we're going to try to kind of, you know, what's the word? Embed a little bit more healthier habits and life, you know, things into them and stuff. So that way we're all healthier, and we're going to focus more on our health, especially this winter and stuff, since we're going to be indoors more, and there's not going to be a whole lot of projects. Though, as soon as the vegetation is off, and you can see behind me that fall is here, the leaves are starting to change. But as soon as the leaves are off, I'm really going to get into clearing that brush along that fence line over there, that old property fence, get that replaced, and then start building my new fence for the lambs in the spring, and hopefully that'll be an idea. The pigs, I definitely want to raise more pigs. These we're going to process probably into December when it's good and it's consistently cold. We'll do the deed here when it's good and cold. And then for next year, next spring, I found a couple breeders in the region that breeds this line, the Gloucestershire Old Spots, and one of them is a veterinarian, and I talked to her, and we will definitely go with a boar, and we will definitely go with a couple gilts to you know, breed out, because she said the artificial insemination on that breed doesn't usually take as well, but it's pretty consistent with the boar, and the boars are such good natured as the pig itself is. She said you would definitely regret not getting a boar, so we'll get a boar, and we'll go that route. And then we can raise our own piggies and breed our own piggies and continue that process. And we'll see how the lambs go. If the lambs work out, we'll do the same thing with them. And then in the future, maybe we'll expand a little bit. I like to raise a couple cows each year, 1 or 2 cows each year to share with family and stuff like that. And if others want to kind of do a cost share and raise a cow, we'll go that route. But there's a lot of work to do in the meantime. But like I said, we're going to make use of our property, you know, and do what I wanted to do for so long. I just could never figure out exactly what I wanted to do. But I want to continue to share the lifestyle with folks. And I want to tell you, get out, do what you can, grow as much of your own as you can, look at opportunities. If you're spending $700-800 a month in rent, you know, where you're at, look a little farther outside of the city, you know, add that extra 15-20 minutes to your commute, and look, instead of paying somebody else all that money, buy you a house, buy a daggone mobile home. You know, I lived in a mobile home on the front part of this property. I bought the property in 2004 and moved a 14x72 used mobile home up here, put my own utilities in, put the mobile home in, and we lived in that. I lived in it from 2004. The wife we met, she moved in into 2005. We lived it until 2013 when we built the house here. And as far as starting from scratch, we really did start from scratch on that, because there was no utilities on this property. The only home that was ever on this property was one of the original settlers to the area that was way back out in the back part of the property. And then there was an old chicken coop that was converted to a little house back during the scab mine stuff, going back way back years ago when the old mines was over here. So, you know, when we built the house in 2013, we ran over 1,770 feet of natural gas line, 900 feet of water line, 650 feet of underground electric and cable and stuff like that. And we did all that ourselves. Now, we had somebody else build the house because I'm not handy. I'm not handy at all. I can't do that kind of stuff. But, you know, we had somebody else build the house, but we started from scratch, and we worked until we could afford it, and did what we did. And that's what you have to do. I mean, if you can get by without wasting money on rent, get a mortgage. Now's a bad time to do it because of the way the market and everything is, and with the interest rates and stuff like that. But, you know, if you are renting and this is something that you're looking for, start putting that money aside. Start putting that money aside. Every little bit. Get frugal. Cut out on that eating out all the time. Cook your own meals at home. Cut back on your subscriptions for your internet and your, you know, your whatever that you're doing. And start saving that money. And when time comes and the rates drop and things get a little better, find you that place and buy it and get into this. That's it. I am done. I got a beef tip in the smoker. I'm going to go get it out here in the next few minutes, and we're going to eat dinner this evening. You guys, I'm telling you, this is a great lifestyle. And like I said, content's hard to come by, even though there's so much to do. It's just me sometimes, and there's very little bit I can do to kind of show you guys what I'm doing, but because I'm usually always fighting the clock. But in the meantime, you got to continue to starve that system. You got to work towards get that self-independence and that self-reliance and stuff going, and because that system's definitely trying to starve you. So get prepared, stay prepared, take care, and God bless.